Hi, my name is Claire, and I'm starting this little series as a way to document, keep myself honest, check out the results, and maybe even help someone in the process of throughout my hip surgery that's coming up in a couple weeks. I've been on this little journey so far for about 1.5 years, and I'm excited to go back and review the results, see how everything goes. Surgery is coming up on December 6, 2021. And just a couple things about me. I love the environment. I'm a software product manager, trying to be chill, but oftentimes neurotic and always on little sidebar health journeys. So thank you for watching this video. As of today, I am 21 days out from my hip surgery. It's an arthroscopic hip surgery to fix a labrum tear and fix my femur bone, which the neck of it is flat as opposed to being concave and pretty like the right hip. And because of that, it chipped off some of the hip bone. So they're gonna remove a little bone chip in there too. And I wanted to start kind of a video diary. I've been journaling on paper for about 1.5 years. And this is just a new way for me to kind of set an intention and be more consistent. And as of the next 21 days, I'm going to be preparing for this surgery. This is going to be the first surgery I've had since 1996, which was actually to fix an esophageal fistula here. So before then, I'm going to be just knocking out physical therapy, working out, trying to get into routines and habits that make me feel good. And my intention that I'm going to go ahead and set today is to get back on the horse and run a 5K by the time I'm able to start running again. And apparently it's 3 months after the surgery. The recovery is supposed to look like 2 weeks on crutches. So I guess that's December 6th through the December 20th. And then after 3 months, I can start running again. So we'll start walking on crutches, and then we'll start running after about 3 months, and I would like to be able to run without pain. This labrum tear has been a long process getting to this point. It could have started in 2 ways. Could have started in 2015, where I accidentally did a full split wearing socks and heard something pop. And from that point, for about 3 months, it was almost impossible or really hard to sit down and stand up, but I was too embarrassed to go to the doctor. And after 2015, I went to grad school, was mostly sedentary, started working in software, which is where I work today. It's a pretty sedentary job, don't have to work out, and really didn't work out at all. I stretched maybe once a week, but other than that, no other sort of strength training or cardio. And back at the beginning of the pandemic, so now we're looking at April 2020 or so, beginning of lockdown that is, a lot of us started to feel like we were losing control, didn't have any control over our lives, everyone handles it in different ways. But after a couple months of that, I just started running. I walked a lot, so that was good, but just started running and probably didn't do the stretching and warming up that I should have. Just kind of Forrest Gumped it and started moving. And that was probably a mistake. And after about 2 months of that, started feeling this pretty sharp pain in my left hip. It was worse when I was sitting. If I was moving and running or stretching, it mostly didn't hurt, but it was sleeping and sitting that was the worst. There were a lot of stretches that made it hurt pretty bad. So if we're talking flat backs, like swan dives, sort of bending over and touching your toes, that was the worst. Anything that had to do with the left leg being straightened and the back being straight was definitely the worst. And that was back in August 2020. And then in October, saw my primary care doctor. First physical I'd done in like 10 years.
told her about it. She said if it didn't get better after 6 months that we would see the orthopedist. Roll around to April. Orthopedist said, yep, we need to do physical therapy. You might need an MRI. I started doing weekly physical therapy in May on high deductible health insurance plan nonetheless, but started doing that and did it weekly from May until October, weekly physical therapy. So needless to say, I met my high deductible and I met my out-of-pocket maximum doing that, all the while to avoid the orthopedist sending me to an expensive MRI. But once I hit my deductible and hit my out-of-pocket maximum, we did the MRI. Things were still hurting come October. And even, things were still hurting in October, even after the May to October physical therapy. And weekly, I would go see her, which is a 40-minute drive away. So round trip was like 2 hours. But I also had at-home exercises, a lot of at-home exercises. Altogether, it probably takes me 40 minutes to go through the entire routine. So, I mean, the daily work was pretty heavy and literal blood, sweat, and tears went into that. So after all that, did the MRI in October to determine what was the cause of this pain, and they said they were suspicious for a labrum tear. So before that, I had already done a fair number of hours on YouTube looking at what could be causing this. They thought it was the obturator internus for a while. They thought it was nerve damage for a while, which I know sciatica can cause some similar issues, but this just literally felt like if you have your socket of your hip, which looks like this, and here's the ball of the femur that looks like this, and it moves around in your socket, it just felt like everything inside of the socket hurt. And that's what your labrum is supposed to do. It's that cartilage inside the socket that protects your hip from your femur and vice versa. So if that's torn up, it's no wonder that everything in there just felt like it was on fire. All that's just a backstory for where we're at today, T-minus 21 days until the surgery. And I'm gonna keep doing my physical therapy every day. I'm halfway through a 30-day jump rope challenge that I don't know where I got, but just felt compelled, like with the running. You just, maybe it's a control thing, like with the surgery coming up, just have to have something that can make me consistent and that I can control. And so I'm gonna finish up that, gonna keep running, going to go through my morning routines. Maybe I'll videotape some of that. We'll videotape some of my physical therapy so you can see how bad my balance is. And that would be another amazing thing after the surgeries if my balance got better. That'd be amazing. Even in ballet class, I was never one for pirouettes. My balance was never really good. And come to think of it, going through the different exercises, my left hip would always click a little bit in there too. So I guess the silver lining about this whole thing is that this tear would have probably happened anyways. It's just a matter of when. And here we are. Here we are at 7:30 in the morning on November 15th. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the months to come. I'm really lucky to be in a place where my family can help me recover from that. And yeah, check back in soon.